On July 28, 1914, Bosnian nationalist Gavrilo Princip shot Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo. This event was controversial at the time and started an all-out conflict across Europe known as the First World War. The fighting consumed the livelihood of nearly every European for the next 5 years, until November 11, 1918. However, in 1916, the United States had yet to join the war, so Americans were focused on other things that they deemed more concerning. For example, steamship baron James Barber decided he was tired of playing golf. There was too much walking involved, and he wanted to enjoy the competitive sport on a smaller scale within the comfort of his own grounds. Taking matters into his own hands, he designed a golf course that condensed the most enjoyable features of a normal course into a smaller one made up entirely of putting green. Construction began quickly, and soon enough, Barber had the world's first miniature golf course right behind his mansion. Because of its lack of public access and the U.S. entry into the World War only a year later, Barber's idea did not catch on for a bit. After the war eventually ended, however, a culture boom at the beginning of the 1920s sparked a growing American interest in this miniature version of golf. That was over 100 years ago, and the game has evolved a lot since then. In 1922, mini-golf enthusiast Thomas McCullough Fairbairn was walking on his cotton plantation in Mexico when he realized that the wasted cottonseed hulls would make a great putting surface. He immediately patented a design and made millions of dollars in today's money from the widespread use of this surfacing until synthetic materials took over decades later. In 1926, the first mini-golf course in New York City was constructed by Drake Delanoy and John N. Ledbetter on the roof of a skyscraper. These men hoped to capture the boredom of rich brokers working downtown, and that they did. After working out a deal with Fairbairn to use his oiled cottonseed surfaces, Delanoy and Ledbetter built up a miniature golf empire with over 150 courses on rooftops across New York City. While that was happening up north, Garnet and Frida Carter in Georgia decided to add a new attraction to the Fairyland Inn, the resort on Lookout Mountain that boasted a storybook fantasy theme. With their real golf course being so popular, they thought to build a miniature course. A decade after Barber's first course once stayed over, the Carters contributed one of the most revolutionary pieces of modern mini-golf by incorporating their fairy tale theme into the obstacle design of the course, with logs, gnomes, and elves all over the greens. Topped off with the creative name Tom Thumb Golf, the Carters had built the first themed miniature golf course, and they even got a patent on the idea in 1929. Tom Thumb Golf quickly spread as a franchise. The Townsend brothers in Rochester, New York, loved the idea so much after playing it that they went into business with the Carters, turning their gas pump factory into a fantasy prop factory, where they produced all sorts of dwarves, woodland critters, and tiny houses for Tom Thumb locations across the country. The sport blew up in 1930. The miniature pricing of miniature golf, compared to the luxury of regular golf, was well suited to the miniature net worth of most Americans after the market collapse. The fantasy worlds of these courses provided an escape from the depression of the Great Depression. Courses were eventually accompanied by food offerings, social areas, and live music as the popularity of the sport grew rapidly. Themes escalated from the original fantasy world of Tom Thumb courses to crazier concepts with pirates, jungles, and cowboys. One creative man in Denver, Colorado, built the first indoor glow-in-the-dark course using neon light tubes. Also around this time, the first bottomless 18th hole was installed, preventing players from playing multiple rounds for free and depositing balls right back to the course house. This has been used for ball return nearly everywhere since then. The growth of suburban life in the 50s after the Second World War led to another wave of excitement for miniature golf. In 1955, Al and Ralph Loma founded Loma Enterprises to start a new chain of courses fully committed to trick shot holes with new creative hazards, popularizing designs such as the classic between windmill blades shot. This was the last great evolution in the game of mini-golf. Since then, courses have developed small changes in style and quality, but the game has still stayed relatively the same. And congrats, you're now pretty well caught up on its history. Today, miniature golf is both a fun pastime and a competitive sport that anyone can enjoy. I enjoy it for both of those things, and I would hope that you do too.